And today we're going to discuss your target audience. The target audience is the key to doing business, and it's one thing that we often overlook. I don't know why we overlook it, but we overlook it, and I definitely want to give you some great examples. You can always join us at markylemons.live, which is the URL used only for our Amazon creator account, where you can go and purchase all of the items that I will be talking about today. But our focus today is going to be the 6-figure and 12-month planner for our 4th Friday real estate plan. And today we're going to focus on our target audience. Now, I know that some of you want to download that target audience sheet. And so I'm going to actually change my graphic up here at the top right-hand corner. What you will see is a URL that you can actually go and scan. It takes you over to Dropbox and you can download your target audience sheet as we start discussing target audience, and you can always buy your planner. I'm going to take you on a journey. I always take you on a journey, right? And when we start thinking about our target audience, there's something that we often say when it comes to doing business that I think we should stop saying. A lot of people think that their friends and family are supposed to do business with them. If you have a target audience for your business, if you have a business plan that has a target audience inside of it, you will realize that your family and your friends might not need your products and your services. You're not supposed to design a business thinking that your friends and family are going to be the core people in which you do business with. That means that you have not planned a business. You are expanding on a hobby, okay? And you want to think business, business, business. So if you legitimately have a business, you need a business plan and you need to understand who your target audience is. And what you will come to realize, a lot of your friends and family might not be able to do business with you. I want you to keep this in mind. I work for real estate associations, banks, and title companies. The people who hire me, their title generally is going to be a CEO, director of education, or someone in business development. No one in my immediate family has any of those job titles, which means then they can't even do business with me, okay? Also, based on what you're charging, sometimes you might exceed someone's budget or their expectations. So we're going to talk about who our target audience is so that we can be more successful in the businesses in which we run, especially in the world of real estate, when a person on average is affording a house at 2.5 times their gross annual income. And I'll give you what has changed since I've come into real estate. When I came into real estate, most of my friends were earning about $50,000 per year. Even the friends that I have now, just so you'll know that, right? However, since I came into real estate in 1999, all of them have gotten a promotion. Everyone has gotten a promotion. So you might have a person who was a pharmaceutical sales rep, and then they received a promotion. Maybe they went into a specialty. Some of them, actually one who was in farm sales then, is now a district manager in a biotech company. That income earning potential is substantially different. A lot of people had an undergrad degree, but then they went back and they earned a master's degree. A lot of people have received a promotion. When I met my husband, he was relatively new at Union Pacific Railroad. I knew that my husband was only making about a third of his earning potential based on how they pay at the railroad. I knew this going into the marriage. So I understood his earning potential and that he was at 1/3 of that earning potential. My husband went from being a conductor to being a locomotive engineer, but then he also became seasoned. And so he got pay increases based on the time in which he's been on the railroad. And guess what? When I met him, what he was earning is 1/3 of what he earns today. So when you start thinking about your target audience, there are some things about that target audience that is going to be advantageous for you to know. But keep in mind, in the world of real estate, we have to adhere to federal fair housing rules and regulations, state fair housing rules and regulations, county fair housing rules and regulation, and city. So I can't discriminate against anyone. However, when I started thinking about living in the city of Chicago, there are only two non-protected classes in my city. That would be a registered sex offender and a college student. So you have to, it's like straddling a fine line or a fence because you can't discriminate, but it is bad business not to understand who you're doing business with. And so you can go up to this QR code and you can scan this sheet and download it. I encourage you to share all of the resources that we share on the Fourth Friday Real Estate Business Planning. And this video will be available for replay, or you can come back and watch it later. So please feel free to share the resources and to share this stream. So the very first thing when we start thinking about our target audience, we need to understand that age. Here's where age is important. I'll be 52 years old on my next birthday. I teach a class where we talk about the first-time home buyer and their average age. I love millennials. I love young people. I will go and hang out with them and act as their OG. I am an old G. But I keep in mind, I'm married, I have 2 children, and guess what? At a certain time, they can still party. It's time for me to take my butt home. With that being said, I am not going after a 35-year-old first-time home buyer because most of them can't afford to buy what it is that I'm selling. Here's what I realized in the past 2 years. When I get up and I go to work, I feel like I'm going to hang out with my girlfriends. I am friends with realtors because I am a realtor. But I am as typical of a realtor as a realtor could be. We are an industry dominated by females. That average age hovers between 51 and 53. Most are or have been married. Most have a college degree and they own their home. I have all of these things as a baseline in common with the people that I go and work with every single day. So to me, it feels like, oh, these are my girlfriends. And I talk about things that other people probably can't talk about and get away with it. I have talked about, is your bra the right size? Because guess what? A lot of women have never gone and got fitted for their bra, right? I've gone and I realized my bra size was substantially bigger than what I was getting, which is why I had those little lumps right here. I could talk about that because I'm hanging out with women my age and they start scratching their head and then they look down and they realize, oops, I'm wearing the wrong size bra. I get to talk about bifocals and the fact that after the age of 40, when you go to the eye doctor, between 40 and 50, generally you might have to start wearing glasses or they're going to tell you need to have a bifocal in your glasses. And instantly you want to kick your eye doctor, right? Because you're thinking to yourself, who would have thought that the eye doctor would have made me feel old? So age is important. So is gender, okay? Earlier this year, not this year, it's been a year now, I hired Studio Classica, a young lady by the name of Elizabeth. You might notice that all of my online branding looks a little softer. The reason it looks a little softer is because I realized that I deal with a lot of women and their average age. All of the red and black per se, this is a little bit strong, right? It is on my book covers, but not on my online marketing. What we went and decided to do, or better yet, she did for me, we added a lot of white space because I understood the age and the gender of my audience. The next thing is you want to be very location specific. The reason for being location specific and including it, for those of you who are in real estate, when someone is coming to do a search for real estate, 67% of those online searches are going to start with location. And you do not. I want to be clear about this. And some of you going to inbox me after this. You do not want to be the agent that says, oh, I do it all. Okay. You do not want to be that agent. Here's why. If you were to go back and research the top 20, you could do 20 to 25 agents in your marketplace. I use HomeSnap to do this often. you're going to realize that most of your most of your clients are going to be in a smaller demographic area. So let's say I looked at Carrie McCormick. She's a top producing agent here in the city of Chicago. I love Carrie. Or I was going to look at, I'm going to give you two examples. I'm going to look at Carrie McCormick. If I was to go and look at the map where her business is concentrated, I'm thinking I'm going to get a Lincoln Park-ish feel, okay? She's not trying to service every area. But on the other hand, I could take a K-Rock, a Kevin Rocio, who specializes in multifamily properties. Now, he does multifamily properties everywhere because he's niched in that property type, okay? So either the property type or the location, but you do not want to be the Uber Lyft of real estate. That means you're all over the place and they should pay your butt for driving and not for selling real estate. You want to understand that experience level. So when I came into real estate, I told you I was hanging out with the farm sales rep. Well, the farm sales rep now is a district manager, biotech. Or I'm going to give you another example. Just getting ready to do a little name dropping here. I'm not going to even drop his name. I'm just going to drop his title. Fran was a police officer. That same Fran now is the deputy chief, right? Some things have changed. So you want to understand that experience level. I can also say that most of my friends, let's say the 5 people I spend the most time with, they all have an advanced degree. So everybody's gone back and they've earned a master's degree, or they have the equivalent in designation, certification, certificates, things of that nature. You do want to know what those occupations are, because you could have a specialty in the world of real estate that you see a lot of realtors, they will say that they're the realtor to the stars, or some work exclusively with doctors and nurses, and they understand all of the different financial programs, right, that the doctors can use to qualify, that they might not include their student loan debt into their debt to income ratios. You then want to look at that average monthly income. Average monthly income is very important in the world of real estate because it basically dictates how much you can afford. And oftentimes when you're dealing with those that are self-employed, they have to get themselves together in order to be able to buy real estate, because oftentimes they're not recording their income accurately, or they're taking too many deductions, which then decreases what they can afford. So you want to know age, gender, location, experience level, occupation, education, and that average monthly income. Now, when it comes to social media and technology, you also want to understand, where are they hanging out online? Better yet, where are they willing to tell you all of their business for free? Facebook is my jam, okay? I like Facebook, I like LinkedIn, and I like Instagram. When I look at those platforms, I do have a different target audience on each platform. When I look at Facebook and Instagram, my audience is 70% female, with the number one age bracket being 45 to 54. And from that group of people, I get 80% of my engagement. So some of you know that I decided to delete Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Clubhouse. Now, the reason for me getting rid of Clubhouse is that I have a podcast that is everywhere, okay? So I really didn't need that for the audio component. I need to repurpose the podcast I'm already creating. Do I believe that TikTok has value? Most definitely. But I'm keeping in mind my target audience and where they spending the majority of their time, in which they are telling me their business in real time. But I'm going to stop right there. The reason I'm going to stop right there, because if we come back into the 6-figure and 12-month planner, one thing that we are implementing this year is our 8x8. That means that I'm reaching out to 8 people by 8 a.m. according to their Ford. Their Ford, F-O-R-D, stands for their family, their occupation, their recreation, and their dreams. So over on Facebook, get this, people are telling me their Ford. I can reach out every single day to 8 of them by 8 a.m., according to their family, their occupation, their recreation, and their dreams, and update my customer relationship management system. Because if I take this action every single day, I will impact or strategically reach out to 2,880 people. Actually, it's 2,920, just to be exact. And so when I'm coming back to the platform they're hanging out on, I want to apply my 8x8 strategy to that platform. TikTok and Snapchat isn't where my target audience is spending the majority of their time telling all of their forward so that I can connect with them and update my customer relationship management system. See, we have to be very strategic about how we are going to earn the amount of money that our heart desires. You can't just get up and not have a plan of action and think you get ready to make 6 figures. You ain't going to just get up and then double your income or get to 7 figures. You got to know who your target audience is. And once again, if it's your friends and your family, I can tell you, you are setting yourself up for failure. It is not supposed to rely on your friends and your family. Actually, the people I do business with become my friends. I don't think I've had a friend who started off as a friend become my business partner because they're not in the position to hire me. That's not what they do at their job, okay? So you want to think about those platforms. I have great engagement on Pinterest, but the average age is 21 to 25. You want to think about what is the top product that you're going to sell. So in the world of real estate, we need to take some time to go back and look at inventory levels and what is available. I met with a realtor, and this was about 2 years ago, and he had a specialty. Him and his investment group were buying multifamily buildings in the city of Chicago, and they were looking for students, and they targeted students. And here was the reason why. They knew that students had oftentimes debt to income ratio issues because of student loan debt. Well, if you put them into a 2 flat, a 3 flat, or a 4 flat, most lending programs will allow them to use up to 75% of the rental income to offset their debt to income ratios. That was a specialty. So it's very possible that this could be your number one product sold. A lot of people now are in the whole Airbnb space. Well, guess what? If you're in that Airbnb space, you know that you need to understand if a person's looking for a condo, you have to understand those condo association rules around what an Airbnb can do. You then want to think about those top Facebook groups and forums that you can hang out in, that you can learn more about your target audience. The groups on LinkedIn, I have not seen to be as beneficial as the groups on Facebook. You want to think about your top market influencers. Think about collaboration. I am very, very big on collaboration. When you think about the fact that, one, I work for all of my competition. And the reason is I don't teach company proprietary products. I will learn their proprietary product if they want me to teach it to their agents. But I specialize on tools that everyone can use, not company proprietary. And so I'm working, I used to work for homes.com when we were doing the whole secret events. I have the only lead generation certificate program with the National Association of Realtors as a collaboration with the Real Estate Business Institute. I work for the Residential Real Estate Council, and I teach the digital marketing course. I also work for Reback, and I teach the ePro. All of these are collaborations. I own and operate my own company, and my company then collaborates with these other organizations because we believe that it is a mutually beneficial relationship. In the world of real estate, who's that lender you're going to collaborate with? What is that special finance program that might be a state-specific program? Who's the home inspector? Maybe you need radon. Maybe you guess what? Your surveyors, right? It's so many different people that you can partner with, but don't just partner with anyone. I don't talk about luxury real estate because in my target market, there isn't a lot of luxury real estate. I would think that Hyde Park might be considered luxury, right? Well, I don't need to talk about luxury. So I'm not partnering with anyone talking about luxury because that is not what my market is made of. I am going to know all of the different down payment assistance programs. Who are the different top authority and bloggers? So now you're thinking about, well, maybe they might want to interview me. I'm a podcaster. I'm consistently looking out for authorities of specific subjects. And just like I'm interviewing someone every week, I am being interviewed by someone every single week. You then want to do some niche research, okay? Because you want to be that expert that is standing out in your marketplace. So you have to understand, and let me tell you the greatest lesson I learned when it comes to target audience. I was born and raised in the restaurant business. Back in 1998, I was bringing our barbecue sauce and our meat rub to the market. I went through a program called the Women's Self-Employment Project. And I'm thinking about Laverne's last name, but she actually worked for the county in procurement. But Laverne was my go-to person. And actually, I had the opportunity to be mentored by Eartha Cousin. Don't know if you know, but she worked for Barack, right? And so she secured me shelf space at Jewel's for our barbecue sauce and our meat rub. Well, I really didn't understand who my target market was before that, even though I have a master's degree in business administration. Because I was launching a new product, I had to understand who my target audience was. And what I instantly realized was when it came to the barbecue sauce, I was not going to be able to compete with an open pit when it came to pricing. Let me tell you this, at that time, you could still get barbecue sauce for 99 cents a bottle, right? So I started researching the specialty barbecue sauce market where I could charge substantially more for the barbecue sauce because I would not be able to compete with the Sweet Baby Ray's or any of the Kraft or McCormick products when it came to pricing, okay? You want and need to know this information because Eartha Cousin gave me shelf space when she was at Jewel's. She was like, you got a solid business plan. And I had investors, okay? Today, when I'm going in and I'm collaborating with organizations, I never bring money to the table. I bring knowledge. I bring an understanding of the target audience. All of my collaborations have been based on the knowledge in which I possess. I have never had to infuse any money, and that includes being in a franchise. Me, Rita Glass, Zeke Morris, the current president of the Illinois Realtors, and Dr. Sanja Stinson, who owns Matthew House. We were partners in our Keller Williams franchise. It was based on knowledge. So pull out your phone, scan that QR code so you can get your target audience. Make sure that you're putting me on your calendar, knowing that we're going to come over here and we're going to talk on the fourth Friday of every single month at noon. And you can go to markylemons.live to pick up your 6 figures in 12 months because we want to plan our business for success. I want you to grow every single year. And a couple of things is kind of funny. We were just sitting at the table and someone invited me somewhere tonight. And I said, hey, you calling me at the last minute? Everyone knows I'm not the last minute go-to person. The reason I'm not the last minute go-to person is because I understand my target audience. If I receive a phone call after 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, what I know is that person is not Eastern Standard Time or Central Standard Time. I won't even pick up the phone because the people who hire me will not call me after 5 p.m. in their time zone. They gone, okay? I can tell you that right now. They're not calling, all right? So if the call says California and it's 5 p.m., I'm still going to pick up the phone because it's 3 o'clock in their time zone. You want to understand your target audience the same way that I'm understanding my target audience. And you want to consistently update this because things change. We changed when the pandemic occurred, right? We're changing yet again, all right, because now we're toggling between the virtual and the face-to-face environment. You want to know what your target audience is doing inside of each of those markets. If you don't know, then you're going to be left out, and you do not want to be left out. If you need additional education and you need it right now, I would encourage you to go take my master class. It is a video on demand. It is absolutely free, where you would go to markylemons.com/master class. I provide a lot of free resources and tools, but at the end of the day, I want to be your go-to instructor that works with your association or your franchise. And so you let other people know that Marky Lemons-Ryhal is available for hire. I was coming over here to see if I saw any questions inside of my chat, and I am not seeing any questions, even though things were a little slow moving today, where you could just type me in questions. But if you type in the question on the platform that you're hanging out on, I will come back and answer those questions. Today, we're streaming live to YouTube, to LinkedIn, and to 4 locations inside of Facebook, plus Amazon, using the third-party tool, Restream.io. So you can drop all of your questions. I will come back to every last one of those platforms and make sure that I answer any questions that you have. You can even inbox me if you feel more comfortable. I want you to make it a fabulous, fabulous Friday, and I will definitely see you back here